Hey guys, I want to show you something that I saw at a store. I've only seen it at one store, but I came up with a DIY modification to help you with some of your smaller guns with just the length. This being a BB gun, but like the Crickets, some of the newer 22 rifles that are coming threaded for a suppressor, they have a little bit shorter barrel. Well, in a safe, it wants to sit just below where the grooves are to hold your rifle, and then the grooves aren't doing you any good keeping them from falling. I came up with these as a DIY. I'll show you different things you can use for this, but it sits in there, and then your shelf sits right here. It keeps it from falling over, but this can't fall down inside the gun either. And I painted them orange just so you'd see it when you picked it up. There was no question there was something in the muzzle. Let me show you a couple things you can use. The one you just saw, these are doll heads from the craft store. They come pre-drilled. You just glue them on something. You got that one. These wheels I think will work really well if your cabinet has carpet on the bottom of the upper shelves. You could take some outdoor type Velcro, cut it to fit, put it on here, and then it would sit up against the bottom of the shelf. It's like the commercially available systems you have now if you're interested in doing that. But with this, you can do it either way with these. It was only like $1.25 for 6 of them. Some other options, these lovely high bounce balls that you inevitably find in the middle of the night when you go to the bathroom. Your kids left on the floor. Poke a hole in them, stick a rod in them, and you can use them. These Nerf rival balls, pretty cheap. Your kids won't even miss a couple. As far as the rods go, this one is the one I use most of the time. They're about 6 inches long or so. It's a fence tie for a chain link fence. I saw these earlier today at one of the home improvement stores. They were a little bit thinner gauge than the ones I have, but they were 30 of them was about $5, which really is not too bad. I also have a Cricket rifle that is set up for a really small child, 4 or 5 years old. It's really short, so it took a little bit longer rod. What I used was an 1/8 inch brass rod. Now, the brass being a little bit harder, you can take a piece of heat shrink, put it over the end of it, let it sit out about 1/8 of an inch, heats that up, and that'll keep any burr if you're concerned about that. I'm not concerned about that for me personally. Couple other things you can use. I'm getting a little bit older, and I remember when cleaning rods did not have a universal thread. I'm pretty sure pretty much everybody now has gone to a universal thread, but they didn't. So you end up with some of these old rods that you either have a hard time finding brushes for or you can't. Instead of throwing them away, you can put something on the end of them and use them to support some of your kids' rifles or grandkids' rifles. A couple other options. You've got a solid copper wire, whether it's insulated or uninsulated. It does come in rolls. They're not real straight, so they're kind of hard. You got to mess with them to get them straight. You can also use wood, a 3/16 dowel fits inside a 22 rifle. You can use an 1/8 inch dowel, will fit in 177. They're a little bit weak. What I would suggest instead is to use a barbecue skewer. They're usually made out of bamboo. It's a little bit tougher. It's about the same size as the 1/8 inch dowel. Any of these wood ones though, you're going to want to seal those up real good to help reduce the moisture. I personally prefer using the aluminum and brass. It works out well. It's worked out very well for me, and it keeps everything upright. If you had like a home defense style shotgun that you wanted, you could probably, or that you had in your cabinet, you could probably use it on that to keep it upright and falling over, because they're usually a little bit long to put with your handguns, a little bit short to put with your long guns. So I hope this helps you out. Please modify whatever you need to modify. Use whatever you need. to use. I thank you for giving me your time and watching my video.